when you get to algebra and beyond, algebra, geometry, trigonometry, if you decide to go that far, you'll be working with a lot of new terms. This video is to go over some of those terms in order to help you understand them. They become fairly self-evident after a couple of problems that you've worked through these sections, but we want to make sure that you know what these mean when you hit your first question. Okay? One term you're going to see a lot from here on in is the term variable. Okay? You've worked with variables before. We just don't call them variables until you start hitting algebra. The reason for this being is you typically, when you work with variables, it's just a number, you don't know what it is. So typically you probably marked this with a question mark previously. Okay? Because of the type of math we're going to be doing from here on in, we need something that we can move around. And a question mark just isn't good for that. So we use a variable. By variable, we mean we use a letter. You can use any letter in the alphabet, A through Z, but typically the letters that get used is X, Y, and Z. For whatever reason, these are the most common letters that get used as variables. You can use any variable you want. You'll also see A used frequently. And you'll see both versions. Right? You'll see a big A, you'll see a little a. Another reason for using numbers instead of a question mark, sometimes we get problems that we have to solve that have two unknown numbers that are different from one another. If we mark them both with a question mark, we now don't know which number is which. But if I mark one with an X and one with a Y, I know X and Y are different. That means my number is going to be different. One might be a 3, one might be a 15. Okay? And then we work to solve those problems to figure out what those unknowns are. That's what a variable is. It's just a word. It's just a letter that we stick in for a number that we don't know yet. That number could vary, right? It could be various numbers, so we call it a variable. That's all it is. Another one you will see is the word polynomial. If you break it down to its pieces, and you're able to do that, it makes a little more sense. Poly means many, right? And nomial is just numbers. So what this means is it's just an equation with many numbers. Okay, if you've worked through the simplifying packets or the algebra basics packets for my GED students, you've seen this word. Okay, this is when we run into things that look like this. Okay, this is a polynomial. It's a really simple polynomial. It only has two numbers, 1 and 2, right? But even something like is technically a polynomial. We don't use this polynomial to define these very often because these are simple. We just call these basic equations, right? But typically things that involve a variable, notice my X, they're called polynomials, okay? And there's different types. There's monomial, which is just one, right? This is a bi, it has two, 1, 2, which is binomial. If I had just my 3x, that would be a monomial, right? Mono meaning one, nomial meaning number, one number, okay? Those are two words you will run into all the time, okay? Another one you're probably familiar with now, but let's just go over it real quick. Oops, if I can spell. Equation. You're probably very familiar with this one by now. But an equation is just a math problem that includes an equal sign, which is why the first part is equal, right? So it would need something like I wrote earlier, 3x plus 2 equals 6. Something like that, okay? If it has an equal sign, it is an equation, alright? Another one you will start to see is similar to equation. It is an inequality. In I hope I spelled that right. And like anything else, when we break it down, right? IN means not. So an inequality has those. I know you've seen these before if you've done any kind of math. They teach these really early. These are your alligators. That's how I was taught, anyways. Your alligator always eats your bigger number, right? But you read it from left to right. So it would be this number is greater than, right? It's eating the bigger number, whatever's on this side. This one is, this number is less than, just ignoring it, whatever's on this side. We also have two others. They're very similar. The line under it, the line under it. Greater than or equal to, notice it's half of an equal sign, right? Less than or equal to, okay? It's very important that you learn to read these left to right. Remembering that the alligator eats the bigger number will help you with your which one to put in, but if you can't read it from left to right correctly, you may hit the wrong one if they're asking you, is it greater than or less than? And they already have the symbol there, okay? So make sure you know how to read these as well. We'll go over these in another video as well. So that's the basic vocabulary that you'll need for algebra. If we run into other things as we go along that I haven't covered in this video, I will cover them as well, okay? Thank you.